I am a battle rapper. Yes, I compete in rap battles, not as a gimmick or as a joke, but for real. I always thought that later life would be a good time to take up new interests, but I had in mind something like knitting or line dancing, and I've gone from retirement to rap. And on the way, I've learnt lots of things that I'm going to tell you today about what happens when different worlds collide, walls get broken down. So I'm going to be talking about stereotyping, aging, and pandas. But I realise not everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say battle rapping. You might have seen the celebrity ones on American TV, or the comedy ones, the history ones on the internet. If you have, that's nothing like what I'm talking about. What I knew till about 18 months ago about battle rap was mainly from watching Eminem in the movie 8 Mile. Yeah. So essentially, a no-holds-barred battle of aggression in rap style, where the aim is to unnerve your opponent, no, to destroy your opponent. Yeah. By bigging yourself up, putting them down, and it's usually in a room of testosterone-fueled raw aggression. So you're probably thinking, why? Why would I want to do that? Well, the answer's quite simple, but it needs a bit of backstory. Because I didn't wake up one day and say, do you know what? I think I'll be a battle rapper. In fact, the exact opposite. All my life I was really quiet, worried about what people would say, held back by the voices in my head that said, people are going to laugh at you. Until I was in my mid-50s and I discovered spoken word poetry. And I started performing on stages at festivals and winning poetry slams and basically finding my confidence by silencing the voices and finding my own voice. But the seed of this battle rap plan started a few months before I turned 60. I decided to do 60 new things. All these things had to be cheap and through real people, not the internet. And I had a ball. I started doing a lot of things that were way out of my comfort zone, and many of the things I did made people rethink, what's she doing that? People like me don't do that. So the answer to why is simple. One, I wanted to see if I could actually do it, but more importantly, I wanted to show those guys in that world that a short, fat, old, grey-haired woman could give them a run for their money. But it wasn't going to happen. And I was chatting to a lovely young lad I'd met, this young man I knew through poetry, and we sat over a coffee, and I mentioned battle rap, and he let slip that when he was younger, he'd done a little bit of battle rap at school, not in a league or anything. And somehow I managed to get him to agree to battle against me. Now, he was brave, because at the time, there was a documentary being made about, a short documentary about how I was growing old differently, growing old playfully. And they were going to film and feature the documentary about this battle rap. The poor guy was only half joking when he told me, do you know, he said, my reputation's going to be ruined. I'm either going to be the guy who beat the old lady or the guy who got beaten by the old lady. But we battled. That should have been the end of it. That wasn't the end, that was the beginning. Because I had this niggling feeling. Yes, I had done a battle rap, I had done it, but I'd done it against somebody I knew, surrounded by people I knew, in a place that I knew. I had not broken down any walls. I hadn't done it for real. And then soon after, I met an old friend I'd not seen for a long, long time, who I knew had some connections with battle rap. And I tentatively told him what I wanted to do and waited for his reaction, and his reaction was, yes, Joy, go do it! And then he told me he knew about this league, a UK proper league, that was known as like a raw punk league. And he said that he would get in touch with them and see if I could get a tryout. Okay, deep breath. I found out later that one of the league owners said, no way, we don't have concepts, silly things like this. But one of the other league owners took a chance. And before I knew it, I had a date, I had a venue, and I had the name of an opponent. This was getting real. I researched my opponent, checked out his battles online. It was worse than I ever imagined. He was gross and sexist, and my last battle had been against somebody lovely, and I thought, no, this time I can go for the jugular. But I couldn't do it by standing up there and going, yo, bro, and using the same style as him. Well, I could, but it would have gone viral for all the very wrong reasons. So I thought I'd find my own voice, my own way, and give it a go. I realised quite how unprecedented it was for somebody like me to step into that world when I arrived for the event. Because the security man on the door greeted me with, oh, love, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place, the toilet's around the corner. And when I walked in, I overheard somebody say, oh, bless, one of the battlers has brought their granny with them. My opponent came over to speak to me, and I swallowed hard. And he actually was lovely. He gave me some words of encouragement, but that threw me. So what I had to do was stand there and try and channel my inner gangster so I could really give it him. And I thought this battle was going to be a little side event, but no, the minute we both stood facing each other, everybody crowded round. And then they started chanting my name, which really threw me, because I couldn't tell whether they were being encouraging or making fun or just reveling in the sight of a silly old woman who was confirming all their prejudices. And we battled. And I'd asked to battle against somebody who wouldn't hold back, and he didn't. He certainly went for it. So I battled. And straight afterwards, I ran. I left, and I knew it wasn't the end, because the documentary crew had filmed it, and the whole battle was about to go up online. So I braced myself to read the comments. I expected lots of trolling and ridicule and negativity. I was confused, because the first comments I read kept saying things like, joy is the goat. And people kept putting this. I found out later it stands for greatest of all time, which obviously I'm not, but it was their way of giving me the best compliment they could. And then it really got strange, because I discovered the guy who I'd really despised, who I was against, in real life is one of the soundest, most lovely guys who's been amazingly supportive. And it slowly dawned on me that what happens in the battles is quite extreme. But away from the battles, none of that's tolerated. It's actually a gentle scene where young men and young women, because there are lots of women battlers and fans, they talk about their feelings, discuss their mental health. They're there for each other. And they've embraced me into their scene. And I go to all sorts of events. And what I discovered was a lot of them write poetry. So what I perceived as these massively rigid walls weren't there at all. It's like I've become part of this really weird, bizarre, wonky family who, it's not for everybody, but I've certainly confused the social media algorithms. 1 minute I'm getting adverts for hearing aids and funeral plans. The next minute I'm getting the latest grime release. And the actual battles themselves aren't what I thought. I thought there's such a variety. Most of the ones that I'm talking about are done without any beat, so it's quite raw. But there's funny, and it's clever wordsmiths, magnificent entertainment. The atmosphere is really, really vibrant. And it didn't end there. Because all year I've turned down all the offers of people who wanted to battle me. And then I got asked by this fantastic league in Ireland whether I would go over and battle over there. And I said, only if you could find me one of your most seasoned, tough battlers. And they did. And I went over and I battled. He out-rapped me, but I held my own. I looked him in the eye the whole way through, and I did entertain. So that I can stand here now and say that I am listed officially as an international battle rapper. Yeah, it makes me smile every time I say that. But I'm not saying that battle rap is for everybody. But there may be people, I know there are people who've got something that they wish they could do, but they're held back by the thought of what are people going to say? And who cares? Why not have a go? And why wait? Why wait and wait and wait? I started doing this in older age, but you could do it at any time. And the opposite, I get young people telling me that they're trying to cram everything in before they're 30 and they're old. You've got a lifetime ahead. But one of the things I have to clarify, I don't think I'm old. They think I'm old. You know, my mum's 93. She's finally started admitting that she's old. And I do know that not everything in the scene is amazing. There are things about it I don't like and people I don't like, but isn't that life? And one day, I might be ready to be sat in my rocking chair with my slippers on, knitting, or put my Stetson on and my rhinestone boots and going line dancing. But at the moment, I'm too busy carrying on breaking people's perceptions of stereotypes. I'm taking suggestions, if anybody's got any, of what I might do next. But like currently, I'm collaborating on a rap music track. How amazing is that? And what I do, because I did mention pandas, I go to places that wouldn't normally let me in, because I go as the rapping nana giant panda. Because when you put this on, this mask on, it talks. So I do all sorts of comedy routines and get people interested and work with teens and lots of different people. So if you think, one last thought, if you think it's the end, it might not be. It might just need the door pushing a little bit more, and that's where the magic might be, if you push just that little bit more. So this is meant to be the end, but it's not. Because I'm going to leave you with a few words, for I'm sure you are all convinced now that I am a battle rapper. But for anybody who doubts me or tries to put me down, just a few little words. I'm a high-speed train. You're the late-night replacement bus. The difference between yours is I've got guts and you make a fuss over paper cuts. I'm stronger than the Great Wall of China. So come on, take a swipe like you do on Tinder, or do you use Grindr? And if you still think you're hard, here's a reminder. I've pushed a 10-pound child out of my vagina and I've just destroyed you with that image inside you. Thank you.